This is based off a rant that I made on my Facebook status. Something is seriously wrong, backward, and fucked up with people teaching kids these days when a young female coworker of mine was excited the other day about the fact that in a US state they just banned birth control, she claims. Removing a woman's right to sexual freedom is a good thing? Anti-contraception, anti-abortion, it all just boils to anti-woman. Period. Thank you, George Carlin. Her reason was because it's killing a life. So is eating meat, killing a fly, letting dead cells fly off of you, the egg that dies each month if it's not fertilized. What these people fail to grasp is the idea of suffering. Which is why they can't grasp the idea that the death of a doctor who has a family that depends on the paycheck, on the loving support she gives, her patients as well, etc., is way less of a loss than extinguishing a few cells barely the size of a fly's brain. Without even the capacity to comprehend or know suffering? It's about male-dominated religion finding a way to make sure women have no choice when it comes to sexual freedom. And why should they have to limit themselves from the fun our naturally evolved bodies seem to have programmed into us? So long as we're all consenting, if us men don't have to worry about it. Why is it okay for men to have free sex without the personal risk of childbirth and not women? I know plenty of women who are way more sexually hungry than any man I've ever met. If we're all having fun and not hurting anyone, who doesn't specifically inform us that they get off on being hurt, why should women be left out? We want more women. But still, that's just going selfish, but still, it's about women's freedom over their own bodies. And then, like any good argument against anti-abortion, we must bring up the rape scenarios, the incest scenarios, severe defect scenarios. The type of people who invented pro-life are the type of people who didn't want some woman they took advantage of to not carry their child. The type of people who continue to waive pro-life are only looking for voter numbers. Is bringing a being into a world already crippled by some form of suffering, be it mentally defected, physically deformed, or just emotional abuse that they may be raised in for being a rape child, to siphon resources and money from already struggling people and families, is that really the better option to extinguishing a cluster of cells incapable of suffering? Life begins at the ability to know suffering. These begins at conception assholes are really just desperately clinging to ancient dogma to figure out a way to keep sexism relevant in today's society, much like those trying to keep religion relevant, by spreading lies. That's all it will ever come down to: anti-women's freedom. Religious men controlling women. When these assholes live on minimum wage, then we'll see how they feel about anti-abortion, anti-contraception. And it just blasts my fucking mind that any woman would agree with this type of reasoning. This is dictator-level evil here, folks. All women should be terrified that their rights are being taken away. Even if you don't live in these states that are proposing these primitive patriarchal dictatorship-type laws, this is the kind of shit everyone needs to rally against, if you have any respect for any woman in this world.